You have to make a difference between quantified and non-quantified. Okay, so we'll talk about where you want to live in the world. So if you want to click one, we're not really going to talk about the non-quantified and the sponsor requires, because if the sponsor requires it, it's always going to be quantified. It doesn't really exist in the matrix. If you click the next one. So on the screen you'll see now the quantified version is always tracked. It doesn't matter if the sponsor required it and it's mandatory, or the sponsor didn't require it and you offered it on the table. If you can quantify it, you have to track it. Okay? And that's very important to remember. That means if I said I'm buying a $5,000 piece of equipment, then I have to be able to show that I bought that piece of equipment, that $5,000. Or if I said, here's how much my match is as required under the proposal guidelines, that's going to fall in that first box, the mandatory tracked amount. Also, if you say effort, effort equals dollars. Effort is quantifiable. Okay, so if someone says 10% effort will be borne by the institution, you have to be able to track that effort in your effort system. You need to report on that effort. It has to be effort certified. Everything applies to it so that you have to follow it. Okay, anything that falls in that first column. Where you want to live, you can give it one more click, is in this voluntary not tracked. This is where we try to encourage folks to write proposals. So it could be that you say, I have a piece of equipment available to the project. You are not going to track that. I will provide something. If it's not quantified, you do not have to track it in your financial systems. Okay? So you want to make sure that you talk about what's available to the project, and that makes the project from a grantsmanship perspective almost equally as attractive. But if you can describe things available to the project that the project will benefit from, it can be equally as telling to the reviewer what the restrictions around it are, and you won't have to track it in your financial systems.